AEW Collision was coming at you from Canada, eh? And it certainly wasn't in Chicago, because CM Punk got this shit booed out of him. Welcome back, guys, to Fog Wrestling. AEW Collision review right here, right now. And CM Punk, after getting the hometown hero welcome last week, this week, he got the biggest mixed reaction I've heard in wrestling for quite a while. We also had more Forbidden Door stuff. We had Jericho. We had a bunch of Japanese guys making an appearances. We had Sky Blue. And why do I think Sky Blue is a good thing? Because she's got a big fat ass. Is the Sky Blue? I couldn't tell you, because her ass is like an eclipse. You can't see anything but this big juicy two butt cheeks. So yeah, I'm all for Sky Blue. I like Sky Blue. She looks like Cora Jade, only a bit thicker than Cora, well, a lot thicker than Cora Jade. But anyway, we'll get to Sky Blue when we get to that match. We're going to kick off with the opener. And what the opener was a recorded promo. I didn't really like this. So it lasted about 45 seconds. And it was very strange, because it was the main event, so it was 8 men. The two teams of 4, and they had like 20 seconds each. And like, we know that Punk's such a good talker, and he was done after 3 seconds. He said something like, "Oh, tonight we prove we're the best in the world," and that was it. It was like everybody had like 3 or 4 seconds just to say a little catchphrase or something. It was a really bad pre-tape segment. So I didn't like this. Then we kicked the show off with Swerve Strickland versus some guy from Japan. Apparently it's Hideyoshi Tashinashi. Right, now, I've got a problem with this. Everyone's talking about Forbidden Door. Oh, Forbidden Door's going to be great. Forbidden Door's going to be brilliant. Forget about Forbidden Door. The door is blown wide open, and I'll tell you why. I see a lot of people saying it's going to be great, especially JD from New York. This guy absolutely sucks. All he does is praise AEW. Claims that this doesn't need a build, claims you don't need storylines because you're getting the best wrestlers in the world from these two companies going at it. First of all, that's a lie. Majority of people do not care about most people in these companies. Most of the people in these companies are bums. There's a few standout guys that I think are good, but this is not all the best wrestlers in the world. It is clearly not. And second of all, like, literally, what is the point? For the past week, we've literally seen AEW guys take on New Japan guys with zero build. So what's the difference? Honestly, on Rampage, tonight on Collision, and on Dynamite, we've seen these New Japan guys come over and face off against AEW guys with zero build-up, with no feud. And that's exactly the same thing they've got going into Forbidden Door. So we've already seen it. How's it forbidden? We've literally already seen it in this week, in the build-up to the pay-per-view. We've seen these random Japanese guys versus these random AEW guys. And now when they face each other at Forbidden Door, we're supposed to pretend that, oh, we're just seeing it for the first time, or we don't get to see this is completely random. But we've seen it in the week prior. We've seen it in the build-up. If it was really going to be this truly forbidden thing, and it was like the first time ever, then you wouldn't have interaction, unless it was to build a feud, build a story. But they basically said they aren't going to do that. So what was the point of having Tanahashi versus Swerve Strickland? Like, what was the point? An AEW guy versus a New Japan guy with zero build, and then tomorrow night we're going to get more AEW guys versus more New Japan guys with zero build. Doesn't make any sense, man. Honestly, it does not. But we had Strickland versus Tanahashi. Tanahashi wins. Shoves him, connects. I mean, I don't think this finish was that impressive, but whatever. MJF's music hits, but he doesn't come out. He's only on the Titantron. MJF says that he definitely ain't showing up in Canada. But he said the only way he would take on Tanahashi would be if he was in the first match. Tony Khan promised him the first match because MJF doesn't want to stay in Canada any longer than he has to. So MJF kind of doing the whole Brock Lesnar thing. He just wants to turn up and fuck off and leave. So nice. Up next with Brody King with Julia Hart versus Andrade. A back and forth match. Andrade should have won. Julia Hart got involved. Buddy Matthews came out. Murphy's, whatever he's called. And it was a DQ win for Andrade. You know what? Fuck Brody King. This guy sucks, man. I don't like Brody King. Guy, he's just a big, fat loser with shit tattoos. I mean, that's all Brody King is. They put the beat down on Andrade. Then we see Malachi Black appear on the Titantron. We just see his face. Then you've got the rest of the House of Black in the ring. Julia Hart's holding up Andrade's mask. Then the lights go out. and the crowd start freaking out as if something's amazing has happened. It's like, no, nothing amazing has happened. Literally the lights went out. Literally the lights went out. Big deal. Anyway, I think I missed out the most important thing. We actually kicked off, or was it after this? It might have been after this. No, it wasn't. It was Tony Schiavone actually kicked off the show, and he was going to announce who Sting's partner was. He got interrupted by Jericho and some Japanese guy. Jericho was threatening to beat Schiavone up. I think Schiavone says he's from Toronto, or someone said he's from Toronto, and Jericho did the wee classic throwback. I'm from Winnipeg, you idiot. So, I mean, I like that. That was pretty good or whatever. Then Sting comes out with Darby, and they introduce their third man, and there was talk, speculation about this being Goldberg, but instead we get Tetsuya Naito, and I'm like, who the fuck is this guy? Tetsuya Naito. Another Japanese guy, and listen, there might be some AEW fans that watch New Japan religiously, and they might think it's great, look, and that's fine. If you like the New Japan style, if you like all that crap, then that's fair enough, okay? You're entitled to like that, but let's look at the bigger picture here. Most people don't, and they're watching this show, and they're literally just getting a bunch of Japanese guys that they've never seen before coming out, guys that have no heat with anybody else, and they're literally just seeing these guys coming out and looking at each other, or having matches, and it's like, why would you care about these random Japanese guys that are coming in and facing these AEW guys when there's nothing on the line, there's no feud, there's no story, you've never met these guys before. They might be big in New Japan, but for most people, they don't know who they are. They legit have never heard of them. So why the fuck would we care? It just doesn't make any sense. I mean, I'm not just picking on Japan. You could hire maybe the best wrestlers from Australia, some Australian promotion, or the best Mexican wrestlers in some Mexican promotion. Or what about Indian? I'm sure there's an Indian wrestling promotion, and there's like Indian wrestlers that are mega stars in India. They're big stars in India. They're the top guys in the Indian promotion. But over here, we don't fucking know them. And that's what it feels like with Japan. And I get it. New Japan's on a bigger scale. It's a lot more prestigious than like other foreign companies. But still, the point remains. Most people do not watch New Japan. I just couldn't imagine this happening in WWE. Like, the build-up for a pay-per-view. Imagine the build-up to Mania. And on the couple of weeks before it, a bunch of random Japanese guys just came out. That would never happen in WWE. But for some reason, they do it all the time in AEW, and I don't think it helps. Then we got Christian coming to the ring. Christian with Luchasaurus. Christian was carrying the belt. He put himself over. He ran down Toronto. Basically made fun of the sports team. Said that he's going to be the greatest TNT champion of all time. And it was a decent promo for Christian. Christian does what Christian does, really. Then we got a preview for Kojima versus CM Punk in the Owen Hart tournament. I don't know if we're supposed to care about this. Who is Kojima? The only Kojima I know is the guy that created Metal Gear Solid, like Hideo Kojima. He was like the Japanese guy that made games. He created Metal Gear Solid. He worked with Konami. I know him. That's the only Kojima I know. I've never heard of this other Kojima. Then in the Owen Hart Foundation Women's Tournament match, it was Willow Nightingale versus Nyla Rose. Willow Nightingale won, then got attacked by Paige's crew, Saraya's crew, and then, Sky Blue came out. Sky Blue and her big fat ass with a chair to save Willow Nightingale, and she tried to slide into the ring, but it was pretty awkward because she kind of banged her knees and she got stuck in the middle rope. And I know her ass is big, but she should still be able to slide underneath the middle rope without much problem. But she did get stuck, and then eventually she got in the ring. It's like, how can you get stuck sliding through the bottom rope? I don't get it. It would be funny if she kind of done the McMahon quad things though, and imagine that. She couldn't stand up, she had to sit in the ring on her big ass. I mean, that you would love to be the ring. You would fucking pay to be the ring. But no, thankfully she was okay. She got up and she waved the steel chair, but and that was it. Then we got Powerhouse Hobbs defeating Jeremy Prophet. Throwaway squash match. Nothing interesting here. Then it was the main event time, and I just feel like they could have done more with this. I mean, you've got CM Punk. We talk about how big a star CM Punk is, and I'm not saying that. Obviously, I don't mean that in terms of he's a mega star. I'm not saying that. But in terms of what AEW actually have, CM Punk is by far the biggest draw they have. He's by far the biggest star. No one else comes close. I don't want to hear it. Oh, Moxley or Brian. No, it's Punk, right? Punk is the clear winner. Punk is the guy that draws. Punk is the star in this company. But, like, we don't see him. We get him in, like, the first 20 seconds of the show, and then we don't get him until the main event. And it's like, surely they should have had Punk on the show throughout the show. Even if you have him cut a promo backstage or you show him warming up, you could have something. It just doesn't make any sense, in my opinion, to have him, like, literally in the first 10 seconds of the show and then not have him until the main event. Again, I'll go back to, like, the Attitude Era or whatever. Like, the top stars, the Ruthless Aggression Era, they were always filtered throughout the show. They were always, like, bled throughout the show. They weren't just in one segment and then disappeared. The top guys were maybe in, like, 3 or 4 segments every show. I just don't know why they don't do that anymore. Especially considering that there is less top guys now. There's less guys that draw. You would think that AEW would do as much as they possibly could to get Punk on TV. You would think they would try to get Punk on 4, 5, 6 segments a week on every show, but they don't. And it's like, I just don't see the point of that. Anyway, we get the 8-man tag match. It was an okay main event. Juice Robinson was trying to do his punch thing again. Didn't really work. He caught some spears off Ricky Starks, but the Switchblade, I forget his name. Jay White, that's the one. Jay White hits him with the Switchblade. He gets the 1, 2, 3, and they kind of steal a victory. And it's like, I know CM Punk didn't take the pinfall, but the guy is literally just back, and he's on the losing team already. I just don't think that's smart. Why would you have CM Punk on the losing fucking team? Doesn't make any sense to me. But Bullet Club Gold win. This was the last show before Forbidden Door, and are we supposed to care? CM Punk's taking on a guy that I've legitimately never heard of. Now, I sometimes make fun of these Japanese guys, and I might have heard of the name, but I pretend I haven't or whatever. I get that. That's just my way of saying, oh, they're losers or nobody, they're bums or whatever. But I've never heard of this Kojima guy. I do not have a clue who this Kojima is. Legit, straight up, don't have a clue who Kojima is. I think I might have heard of Naito. I think I've heard of the Naito guy. I know Tanahashi because Dave Meltzer never shuts up about his hair. Dave Meltzer, like, always talks about this Tanahashi guy and how he has beautiful hair. That's how I know him. But yeah, that's it. Most of these AEW guys I do not know. Most of these AEW guys I have never seen wrestle or never seen in general. Yet we're supposed to care about them turning up on AEW Collision. I don't really care, guys. I didn't think this week's show was as good as last week's. Probably just because it wasn't the premiere, and like once you've seen the setup and stuff like that, it kind of does wear off. But it's definitely still a nicer looking show than Dynamite, and it's not got as many annoying people on it as Dynamite. Main event was good. The Christian promo was pretty good. Sky Blue's ass was pretty good. You know what, there's 3 things I enjoyed about this show. I'll give it a 3 out of 10. Can't say fairer than that, guys. There you go, AEW Collision, 3 out of 10. Definitely prefer watching this over Dynamite and Rampage 100%. I'll catch you in the next one. Till then though, peace.